meal plan for the week, which is honestly the thing that sets you up for success when meal prepping. Once you know what you're gonna eat for the week, I find this is the hardest part of the whole thing. And then I have kind of my go-to recipes and I can just fly through everything else. So I thought this was the perfect time. I just got a brand new notebook for my meal prep stuff because this one was getting really full. But this literally, if we go through this book, it has, between this and another one we have, like our last couple years worth of meal preps. So I always kind of keep them on hand, go through them, and it brings back ideas like, oh yeah, that recipe was really good. And my Pinterest page, that is my like saving grace when it comes to planning for the week. So all I do is I write down, a lot of people get angry at me because I have my board, you can actually see it back here. It starts in the middle of the week because the way my schedule works, I go grocery shopping on Tuesday or Wednesday. So my grocery meal or my meal plan starts on Tuesday or Wednesday. So I just write my days out. Hard to do while talking. I'm gonna write the wrong letters. And kind of go from here. So this is, I already have Tuesday and Wednesday lunch planned. They're actually already cooked. That was already in my story there. So I'm gonna write out what we're going to eat there. So we have breakfast casserole, sausage and peppers. All right, so then we need to plan for Wednesday supper through to Tuesday. So that stuff I already have. Then the next thing I think of is, okay, what's going on this week? So this week we are going to look for bridesmaid dresses and groomsmen suits on Friday night. So I know we're not going to be home, so I can already write that down, that we are going to be gone. So I don't have to meal plan anything for that. The other thing we're going to do is Friday is my dad's birthday. So Saturday we're going to go over there for brunch and have some food. So I may need to plan something to bring for that, but I don't have to plan a meal specifically just for us. That'll kind of come maybe later in the week when I talk to my siblings and see what they're gonna bring. So that's already done. So now I've already got 2 meals done and planned because I already know I don't have to cook them, or it's not something that's gonna be in our normal meal prep. From there, we usually kind of think about what kind of foods I know. So Tyler, my fiance, would eat the exact same thing every day for lunch and supper, and it wouldn't bother him. Me, I'm the pickier out of the 2 of us. This is why I get to meal plan. I like to have different foods, different styles of foods, things we haven't had in a while, things like that are old classics and favorites. I get bored very easily, so we like to mix things up all the time. Usually when I'm thinking about it, what I'm thinking of is we kind of base ours based on the protein usually. So we'll say we'll have a chicken dinner here, a beef dinner here, maybe we'll have some fish, and we kind of set it up like that. So we're not eating the same thing all week, depending on if you have dietary restrictions or just things you like better than others. If you're vegan or vegetarian. I also sometimes will plan like, I want to have an Asian inspired meal this night or these 2 nights, and I want to have maybe a Mexican inspired one, and just play with different flavors. That's another way to keep it mixed up and not get too bored, because that is what I usually do. I don't like having the same foods all the time. And then going from there, you can kind of pick. So again, I'll go to my Pinterest page and it's way more organized than it needs to be. The other thing we're gonna start now, I'm claiming it's officially fall with the weather we had last week. So soups and casseroles will become bigger when we're through all the summer. We're usually leaning more towards the fresh vegetables we can get and barbecuing meat. Not that we won't do that at all throughout the fall and winter, but we tend to do that a little bit more in the summer. And then, you know, you want those comfort food casseroles, soups, that kind of stuff. So I get to break out some of those recipes again. So I'm gonna go through this real quick and kind of pick out, I'm actually not sure. The other thing I usually ask is Tyler if he's craving anything, if there's something we haven't had in a while and it's like, oh, we could really go for that. And then the other thing I do have right here is the flyers. So I'll go through all the flyers for our area and see what's on sale that might inspire me to pick up something that's on sale. And then we go from there. So I'll see you in a minute. All right, so I went through my Pinterest. I've kind of had some ideas of some things we had recently that we've really, really liked. So I've got my week's worth of food ready on this page, and then I made my grocery list on top of that. I know it's a little bit backwards, but you can kind of see I do all my fresh vegetables. I kind of set it up the way the grocery store set up, so I can make sure I'm not missing anything. So my veggies and stuff, this is the stuff in the middle aisles. These usually isn't too full unless we have to like restock on a bunch of canned good type stuff. And these are usually just like the odds and ends that, we're on the grocery list for this week. We need rice, vinegar, and toilet paper. So those are on the list for this week. This is my meat and stuff. And then all of my cold stuff. So either frozen or refrigerated stuff. And this is that last section because I shop at Food Basics where the spaghetti sauce, the pizza sauce, the beans and stuff are. All that's over there. So that's how I set up and I plan for my week. Then I'll go shopping Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever day I'm going to meal prep, and I can come home and I know I'm going to have everything. I'm not going to be short on ingredients to all of a sudden make something. Planning for the week makes life so much easier. So even if you're not planning on doing a big meal prep, even if you do cook your food every day, planning for the week just takes that burden off of trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to make tonight? What are we going to do? I know, like my parents growing up, Mom would kind of take something out in the morning, a frozen meat, pound of burger, chicken, whatever, and then kind of have to figure out through the day what you were going to do, but you had to do that based on what was already in your cupboard, and you might be missing that one or two ingredients. Where if I do this, I know exactly what I need. I'm not buying anything extra, so we have a lot less food waste as well. I'm not buying something saying, oh, I'll maybe try and make something with that. I know exactly what I need. So my grocery bill's a little bit cheaper, and I'm not wasting any food. So hopefully that answered some questions. If you have anything else or want me to touch on anything else, let me know. When I started meal prepping, I was not this dedicated to it and not this good at it. It was years ago, and I just had to be prepared. I was working in Teeswater, which, if you know, is not a very big town. It doesn't have a lot of options for food through the day, especially healthy food. So if I wanted to eat, I had to bring something, and I started with some sort of meat, usually a fish or chicken, and roasted vegetables, sweet potatoes, broccoli, potatoes, whatever I could think of. I would roast a big pan of it so I had a couple days worth, and that was it. That was my meal prep. Obviously this looks a little more complicated, but it's evolved over time. When I went to school, I started getting better at casseroles because if I was only cooking for myself, a casserole feeds me for quite a few days. And I found some casseroles that were like staples. They were good, they were decently healthy and really easy to make and simple. As we've kind of had more time and now I have Tyler helping me, we can get a little bit more complicated and we have the time. We'll dedicate a good chunk of our Sunday. I don't know what time we started at today, but it was a couple hours, but we got 3 days worth of food cooked. So it's evolved, it's grown. If you want to start meal prepping, don't try and start with your whole week because you're going to end up very frustrated. Because it's a lot and it can be overwhelming when you start, but start little bits at a time, a couple days at a time of one meal. So that's the other thing you'll see if you look at our list. We make our meals because there's 2 of us to have 4 portions. So it's good for 2 days, for 2 suppers or a supper and a lunch the next day. So we don't have to come up with as much. There's not as much brain power. Make big batches of stuff. If you have a family, make enough batches that you have 2 days worth. I know that can be a lot of food all at once, but when it's all one thing, it makes it a little bit simpler. So those are my best tips right now. By all means, if you have questions, shoot me a DM, message me, ask me at the gym. I'm always looking for new recipes. As I said, I get bored, so I'm always trying new stuff. And I think I tagged her earlier, but finding Mel on Instagram, she has an amazing meal prep as well. And I'm always looking at her. I'll usually shoot her a message like, oh, that looks so good. What is that? What's the recipe for that? Send that to me. And we kind of go back and forth with that. So she's also a really good resource if you're looking for some meal prep inspiration. But honestly, start small, get comfortable with it. And then at times before quarantine, Tyler and I were able to do our whole week, Monday to Friday. It would take us about 3 or 4 hours on a Sunday, but if you think about how long you'd be cooking through the week, we definitely save time. And go from there. So build it, get more comfortable, find recipes you love, find recipes that you hate and you're never making again, because I know I have a bunch of those too. Pinterest is my best friend. I organize my Pinterest between like lunch and suppers, snacks, desserts, soups. I have kind of all my different categories in there, so it makes it a little bit easier. So again, let me know if you have any questions. I hope this helped a little bit, and good luck on your meal prep.